Okay, and look over to me on this side, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so can you introduce yourself and tell me a little bit about your work?
Okay. So my name is Noni. I work for Sunshine Cinema. We're a mobile solar powered cinema that travels Southern Africa, taking African film to communities that are underserved and rural townships. Yeah.
Can you give me an example of like one of those communities?
So one of the communities is in Kitwe, Zambia. They are a mining community. They are right on the copper belt of Zambia, and quite, they're far from everything. There's no cinema there. The closest one to them is 8 hours away, a bus ride that is 8 hours away. So now we've placed a cinema in their hands for them to use in their community. They show documentaries about, just things that are happening in the area, but also just fun films like Queen of Katwe and Black Panther, just for the kids. We also have animation that's South African made from a studio called Triggerfish that makes animation. So we're trying to create a hub where they can talk about serious things but also have fun.
Oh, cool. Can you tell me a little bit about where we're having the conference?
Okay, so this is Franschhoek. It is, to be honest, not a lot of people in the city access the space because it's a wine country. The only people that you will see here, maybe you'll see behind me, are like the laborers, people who work here. But it's generally just people who have money who come here. So they come for wine tastings and such. So for us to access the space, for me to come to the space is actually great, but also feels odd that I've been here for so long. It's very beautiful. It's just sad that people who actually work this land sometimes really get to enjoy it. But it's beautiful, and I like what Bertha is doing in trying to make it an activist space where we can connect with other people. Yeah.
Can you tell me anything about how climate change is manifesting here, or how it's affecting some of the communities that you work with?
So some of the communities we work with have small-scale farming groups, and these are groups that have recently been given back land that was stolen from them before. So now they have the land but don't have the tools to maybe forecast weather and how it's going to impact their crops. So they literally have all the land but no skills. There's no real support. So there are a few organizations that give them seeds, for example, to plant, but they can't really manage like the climate change and how everything is just deteriorating. The produce has also decreased because of the weather. It just gets hot and it's drought. In Cape Town especially, there was a drought. I'm sure some of you might have seen in the news that we're counting down to day zero when we would run out of water. But apparently we've made some progress and the dams are filling up a bit. But but there's still people, even though the dams are filling up, in Cape Town where I'm from, Guguletu, there are still people who have their water switched off most of the day. For like 10 hours a day they have no water. And if your house happens to burn at that time, then you're screwed basically. So it's sad, but and the way that the aeration who gets the most water then is also not balanced, because the cities and people who have pools and stuff still have their water on, but people who have run a creche, for example, a preschool, they don't have water during the day. It doesn't make sense for me. I don't know how they manage that. But there's a lot of unfairness, and even with the climate change, it's hard for people in the township to even care about that, because for them the earth hasn't been a place to enjoy. They can't, like, you're asking someone who doesn't have food or have access to some spaces for them to care about the environment, which is they should do. But it's what's more, what's in front of them right now is maybe electricity, how they can keep the lights on. So it's a lot of inequality, but we have amazing young people who are finding ways of making just change in their communities using the arts, film, and drama. So it's if you see what you see around me, this is not a reflection of Cape Town. This is beautiful. It's access. It's money. It's old money. But if you go to the other side, even the other side of the farm, communities live quite differently to this. So yeah, it's a lot of inequality, but yeah, that's just how things are.
Okay. Is there anything that you would want to say to, you know, youth or girls or anybody in America, or any suggestion you have, advice for them, request?
Okay, so I think specifically to this class, I hear that there's only a few girls who are in the class, and I would say that you showing up in school every day and being assertive and knowing who you are and not shrinking and just being, yourself is an act of activism actually. So you're showing up and you're not settling for whatever position you're being given. You're taking your place. That is activism. I would encourage them to find out about other communities that are not necessarily close to them. How I've learned about ways to change my reality is by looking at other people. Sometimes when we focus on ourselves, we can miss out on a lot. So how I travel to the places that I can't afford to travel to is by going on YouTube and watching a short film about a place, um, making friends in a safe way. Obviously, making friends with people who are not from my community online, other girls. For example, if you would try and find an organization that works with, say, Kenyan young women, make a friend, have an exchange. We used to have pen pals when I was your age, but so you can still do that using the internet. Share pictures of what you do in your community as a way to inspire each other, but also be kind to one another at the school. School can be a very, you know, bad place if we're not kind to one another. We're all from different backgrounds, so we can all learn from each other.
Thanks.